This might be the one time for me, at least, where having bad sleep was a benefit because I get to talk about these. These images just literally just dropped 15 minutes ago. Many of us over the weekend learned that Tamashii Nations was tackling the Berserk franchise with SH Figuarts. A huge surprise in and of itself, just because we get a lot of figures from Tamashii Nations with manga and anime releases. This just, I mean, yes, there's animes for Berserk, some not very good, but I need to get on Berserk. I have the first volume of that hardcover that a buddy gave to me, and I need to get onto it. But these here, Figma, a good smile, I should say, used to make Figmas of Berserk characters. They didn't make that very many, and the articulation was kind of outdated with some of them. This here, this Guts, oh my god. This is absolutely like 100% insane. This is nuts. It's so crazy just because Tamashii Nations really only focus on Jump and Viz IPs. I believe this is the English version, at least, is published by Dark Horse. So this kind of opens up realms of possibility. Not that it was never impossible before, but this kind of confirms them open up realms of possibility of them tackling other manga publisher IPs. This is insane. Like I still can. The fact of that announcement over this weekend alone of them working on Berserk is crazy. The actual figures being shown here, this is crazy. Look at the dragon sword. Let's just keep going, man. This is insane. Wow. The detailing on here, I've seen enough panels without being spoiled of Berserk to know that they really nailed the detailing here of just how he's supposed to look in the manga. Look at all the musculature. Look at the detail on the hair and face. That's incredible. The paintwork on I know it's just a prototype, but the prototypes tend to be pretty accurate to how the final release is going to be. The paintwork, the paint shading on this is insane and fantastic. Look at that left hand. That's insane. It's such a beautiful looking piece. I think the only thing catching my eye right now is maybe that wrist looks a little too much like a ball joint, just a little too circular, but that's really it for me. Maybe, a tiny bit of a gapage in the elbow. If I'm really nitpicking, this is an articulated action figure. Of course, there's going to be some creases and breaks in the sculpt, of course. Looking here, look at that screaming head. The image I'm having is going to pan down a little bit more, but the screaming head here, my concern is how heavy that Dragon Slayer sword is going to be. I'm hoping that the shoulder joints and arm, elbow joints, pretty much the whole arm, both of those arms can at least hold the weight of this if it's going to be a heavy piece. I believe, based on the different images that I've seen here, that there is a soft goods cape. Please correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments below, because just all these images I'm seeing, this thing is moving around a bunch. It could be a type of softer plastic. I don't remember what the post says right now. I'm not looking at the post right now. I'm just looking at these images that I've screenshot. The post is on Tamashii Nations Instagram. I'll leave it down in the description below. From my understanding, it looks like that this is a soft goods cape, which they don't do soft goods often, and it's really nice looking though. Man, my God, and that screaming head, beautiful. We have another image here, as you can see, with that accessory for the left arm. It looks like that's really sick. I don't know if those knives around his waist. I'm trying to articulate what I'm trying to say. This is insane. I have a feeling that those knives around his waist aren't going to be removable. Who knows? But this is the detailing on the legs. This gives you a better idea of how those legs look. Even though this is an articulated figure, I feel like they did a really good job of making sure the sculpt isn't too broken up. I can't tell where some of the joints begin and end, except for maybe around the ankles. They really, really impressed. The fact that they have a prototype here ready to go to show off, only only days after announcing that they're working on this property. Extremely impressive. I know they were probably working on this for a while, but for them to make it look this good, and it's supposed to be coming out this fall, it is insane. So here's another pose of Guts kneeling down, looking really good with the Dragon Slayer over on his shoulder there. That is fantastic looking. You can kind of see some more of the joints. I believe there is going to be a toe joint. I think there's might be like a plastic. I don't really know how to describe it. I talked about the Hell's Paradise figures this past weekend. Looks like there is some sculpted pieces over the hip articulation, which also is sculpted. I don't think it's going to look that bad. He's a character in armor, so there's that. But wow, this is what makes me think it's a soft goods cape here, is because when you're in this pose, this thing is moving around a bunch. This is I'm so blown away, guys. You don't understand. I may not be even a fan yet of Berserk. I've been wanting to for a long time. Just getting all those volumes is going to be expensive. But my God, this is so impressive. Here's another pose of Guts here. I'm about almost done talking about Guts here because who has also been revealed. We'll talk about him in a second. But another really impressive pose. I believe the idea with some of these heads are a more stern face, a screaming face, and then we have the gritting teeth face as well. You see on this figure here, again with that cape looking way more bent than a soft plastic cape can do, at least from Tamashii Nations. And they don't even do soft plastic capes. They do a lot of hard plastic and hinged parts on a cape. Just look at some of the Dragon Ball figures. So I can't say when we've gotten soft goods in the Tamashii Nations stuff before. If this is the first time, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but if this is the first time, then I'm hoping they've nailed it. This is awesome. I'm hoping there's bendy wires in there as well. They've shown off this image on the back of the neck, the back of the head, I should say. Not only showing the back of the neck, but the hair too. And then you could definitely tell here, this is definitely more of a soft goods cape, just because you could see all the fibers on there. The detailing on the brand on the back of his neck, that is insane. The scars on the back of his neck, the detailing on the hair, at least here, can look a little bit better, but the overall sculpt is not bad, and the paintwork looks really good. The detailing on that brand, I cannot get over that. Crazy insane. I'm just hoping the paint apps are going to be clean on everyone's. That's a pretty hard to paint area there. And one last image here before I talk about the price. Look how big that sword is, dude. And the fact that he could do this one-handed. Again, I'm really hoping that the wrists and the shoulders can hold a pose like that. So, talking about the pricing of this one here while you're still looking at this image, these things are going to be expensive. Get ready. I'm reading off what is official on Tamashii Nations Instagram. The Berserker armor Guts here is going to run for 10,450 yen. I'm just going to rough guesstimate on after shipping for the US, it's going to be a little over $100. You could tell that they have put in a lot of work to kind of warrant that $100. I'm sure the sword kind of jacks that up a little bit more. So, this is supposed to be dropping when a bunch of other figures are going up for pre-order soon. April 26th. I can't exactly nail down if that's going to be on the US side. It's going to be the 27th at that point. I really can't. Just be on the lookout on places like Hobby Link Japan and AmiAmi. And it's supposed to be coming out this September. Okay. Griffith. We all know about Griffith because they teased it yesterday. Griffith Hawk of Light version here. This is a beautiful looking piece. When I mentioned earlier that they were really going for a manga look here, this looks straight up how, from the panels I've seen, how this particular version of Griffith came out in the manga. And you could tell it's kind of, confirmed my suspicions that there is soft goods for the cape here, and it looks like a bendy wire as well. This is so beautiful, man. Look at all that metallic finish on the armor. The sword is fantastic. The hair is borderline angelic. My God, bro, that is insane. So good. Now, this one here, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what the pre-order information is here. This will be released in October, a month after Guts. And this one is actually 14,850 yen. That's close to $150 because look at the horse. It comes with the horse. That is insane. That is pretty crazy. The horse itself looks really good too. Wow. That is so impressive. I know this is really expensive. I would love to get both of these, but the fact that these are going to be even more expensive, and there's still some other stuff from Tamashii Nations coming out later this year that I'm going to have to save up for. I might have to make some decisions on particular lines, or even some Tamashii Nations stuff that I might have to wait on if I want to get these, or I might have to wait on the Berserk stuff, but I really don't want to because these things look fantastic. And I know I need to read it, but like this makes me want to read it even more. So there's not much else I can add with how great this horse looks. You can see how the cape is flowing in the back, and he has his helmet. That is really cool that they gave him the head sculpt for the helmet. Really digging that. And then you can see the flipped up part of the helmet here on the horse again. You can see some of the elbow articulation in action there. I believe the shoulder pads will also have a little bit of articulation as well from some of the images I've seen. I think the way that if you look around the shoulders, it's soft goods there too. Over draping the I don't know if I'm saying that right, but pretty much going over the chest and shoulders, and that's kind of impressive that they can kind of make not seamless, but it looks pretty natural on there, even though that's soft goods over plastic. So that is really cool that they were able to nail that. I'm not sure what else is going to be what features are on this horse. I feel like I'm looking at it as close as I can. I think the articulation on this thing is going to be kind of non-existent. It might just be just in a stationary pose. Maybe the head might move a little bit, but I just can't tell. If that is the case, then I kind of understand them not doing that, but at the same time, some people might just stick with any Figma horse since those are articulated and maybe figure out how to use some of these armor pieces on that Figma horse. But at that point, I think that this horse here will get the job done that it's supposed to. I do wish it was a little bit more articulated, but it would probably be like an Erwin Smith Figma situation where that's a pretty expensive Figma, because that comes with an articulated horse. Okay, so here is another image of Griffith there. That is really sick in a walking pose there. You can see some more joints in some areas. Again, a lot of the joints are hidden really well, except for maybe like the biceps and the hip articulation. But wow, and this is so cool, just how they were able to get all these armor pieces done. The sculpting on here is fantastic. I've already mentioned the metallic finish, but it's just so beautiful. It is such a gorgeous piece. The sword is really cool. I believe you can sheath it based on the open hole that is on the sheath there. So that is really cool. And then you could kind of see the obvious ankle articulation, but that's immaculate, dude. That is so good looking. Tamashii Nations are usually on top of their sculpting game with pretty much any figure they release. This is not me saying this lightly. These two figures might be some of their best sculpted work they have ever done. Somebody might argue with me on the comments on another line, but this is just too good. All right, here's another image of Griffith on the horse. Again, the horse is actually looking pretty menacing, bro. That is not a horse to mess around with based on this image, but it is a very cool looking piece here. Holding the tassels, I believe, pretty well. I guess there's a gripping hand. I guess that could be used for holding the sword and the tassels. I'm wondering if the tassels are softer plastic or like a leathery type material, like pleather almost. can see the cape kind of flowing there again. You know, there's some stuff with the Photoshop that you could tell they're kind of covering up some parts here. Like this fog effect here, so you can't really see too much at the bottom of the horse. We've already saw how it looks on the bottom pretty much though. So this is just another posing, just an image posed on the horse. I'm wondering what's going on with the hair with some of these heads, if there's any movability there, maybe like a hinge or something, or if it's just sculpted in a way that's going to be sticking out on either of these heads, so that way it doesn't get in the way of articulation. It makes it look like it's flowing in the wind. So, you know, there's that to consider. And I'm not sure what's going on with, you know, face plates either. Same thing with guts, because I couldn't tell a break in the seam of the hair with guts, as well as this figure here, which is a good thing, I would think. But you have this more like slight smile here. This son of a bitch. I know enough of what this bastard's done. Don't worry. You could see some of the, I didn't really talk about what different hands are coming with each figure, but this is more of like an open gesture hand there. The soft goods cape is flowing down more. Whatever's going on with that gold around the left wrist, that is fantastic looking. I'm not exactly sure what all, again, I haven't read the manga yet. I'm not sure what all the inner workings of these armor pieces are called, but it looks fantastic regardless. I can't even tell the toe hinge that well in this image, if I'm being honest. Maybe the ankle articulation a little bit, but you got to look pretty hard. And I'm saying that because they really did a great job of making some of this look seamless, even though you can tell some articulated parts on here. I am wondering if these heavier armor sculpted pieces or they will hope. I don't know if it's going to get in the way of articulation at all and movability, but I think they've probably figured out a way to make all of that work. Maybe it'll be ever so slightly hindered. We do have a pose of Griffith kneeling down, kind of like what we had with Guts earlier. So you could see, I don't know what's going on with the helmet, if you can just straight up remove parts of the helmet to make it look like this, or if it's going to come with a separate helmet that's empty, you know, to hold here, and then an alternate head for the helmet. Not entirely sure what's going on there, but that is really cool that you can accomplish a pose like this. I need to finish this up because I'm going over a little bit longer than I wanted to. This is just a back shot here. Not much really to talk about. The soft goods cape flowing there. I'm guessing bendy wires as well based on the images that we've seen so far. Really cool that they're also doing soft goods here. I think that they really came out nice to make this, you know, the soft goods on this figure look really clean, whereas Guts, the soft goods there, looks a little bit more dirty and more worn down like it's supposed to. You kind of, a little bit of the sculpting on the back of the leg there. You can kind of see that. You can kind of see where the joints are, which it's fine with me. And then last but not least, there is the horse right there. You can see everything that's going on with the horse at this point. So that is really sick looking. Lots of different armor pieces. I'm not sure what all is draping down on this horse, but this is just a fantastic looking horse. Again, maybe some articulation could have been nice, but you know, this is already pushing $150, so they probably realized that. Both of these figures are so beautifully sculpted, detailed, stacked with articulation, and just tons of accessories, pretty much everything you need for both of these versions of these characters. I am extremely impressed by Tamashii Nations. I feel like I say that a bunch whenever some of their stuff comes out and I talk about it. This time they really have they've really done it. They have absolutely, it's going to be hard to top this if I'm being honest. This is some of the most beautiful action figure sculpt work in anime, for anime figures at least, I have seen. Articulated anime figures, I should say. They're beautiful, and I've been kind of speechless this whole time, so I've been kind of rambling a bit. What do you guys think about these Berserk figures? Let me know down in the comments below. The information, if you need more information, it'll be down in the description below as well. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you think about the figures that you see here, and I'll see you guys later.